Book 10, Number 1. Will my soul ever be good, simple, true to my nature without pretense, and manifesting virtues through my actions and demeanor? Will you ever enjoy an affectionate and contented disposition? Will you ever be satisfied without longing for more, not desiring more, either animate or inanimate, for the enjoyment of pleasure? Not desiring more time to enjoy life, a better place to live, a pleasant climate, or a society of people with whom you share similar values and can live in harmony? Will you be satisfied with your present condition, pleased with everything you have, convincing yourself that you have everything you need according to the gods, that everything is well for you, and will continue to be well if it is according to their will? Whatever shall please the gods will be given for the conservation of the universe, that it is good, just, and beautiful. It is these things that create, sustain, and renew all things. Will you ever live with gods and people in a manner that will neither find fault with nor be condemned by them? Know yourself. Accept and conduct yourself according to your nature as far as you're not made worse by it. 2. Observe only what your nature requires as a living being and fulfill your natural needs as far as your rational faculty is not made worse by it. Remember that as a rational being, you are also social. Observe and follow the rules of civil society, and do not trouble yourself with anything else. 3. Everything that happens is either such that you are formed by nature to bear it, or you are not formed by nature to bear it. If it happens in a way that you were formed by nature to bear, then do not complain, but bear it as if you were formed by nature to bear it. But if it happens in a way that you are not formed by nature to bear, do not complain, for it will perish after it has consumed you. Remember that you are formed by nature to bear everything if you judge to make it endurable and tolerable by thinking that it is either in your interest or duty to do so. 4. If someone is mistaken, instruct them kindly and show them their error. But if you are unable, blame yourself or no one at all. 5. Whatever may happen to you was destined for you from the beginning of time, and the sequence of events has been shaping the thread of your being through all that happens to you. 6. Whether the universe is a concourse of atoms or nature is a system, let this first be established, that I am a part of a whole which is governed by nature. I am part of the whole governed by nature and intimately connected to others like me. By remembering this, I will not be discontented with things that are assigned to me out of the universe, for nothing is damaging to a part of it if it is for the advantage of the whole. For the whole contains nothing which is not for its advantage, and the nature of all things has this common principle. Further, the nature of the universe cannot be compelled even by any external cause to generate anything harmful to itself. By remembering that I am part of such a whole, I shall be content with everything that happens. As I am connected to others like me, I shall do nothing unsocial, but rather direct myself to the common interest of humankind and avert any act contrary to it. If I do these things, life must flow on happily, just as you can see the life of a citizen is happy who continues a course of action that is advantageous to his fellow citizens and is content with whatever the state assigns to him. 7. Every part of the whole universe must of necessity perish, but let it be understood that in this sense, that they must undergo change. But if this change was a necessary evil for the constituent parts, then the broader whole would not continue to exist in such good condition, the parts being subject to change and constituted to perish in various ways. Did nature design to do evil to the parts of herself, to make these parts subject to evil and of necessity fall into evil, or have such results happen without her knowing it? Both these suppositions are incredible. Even if we stop calling it nature instead of referring to these things as natural, it would be ridiculous to recognize the inherent change of all things and yet be surprised or vexed by it. For things dissolve back into their basic elements, solids into earth, air into atmosphere. These parts are taken back into the universal reason, whether consumed by fire or renewed by eternal changes. Remember, the solid and the light part of your being was never yours from the moment of your creation, for all this growth has been received from the food and the air which you've consumed. What changes is the material you've acquired, not what you were born with. But suppose that what you were born with is connected to the part of you that changes. It does not contradict the truth that all things are subject to change. 8. When you have earned the titles good, modest, true, rational, magnanimous, and somewhat of equanimity, take care that you do not conduct yourself in a manner to tarnish them, and if you should lose them, quickly return to them. Remember that the term rational means paying careful, judicious attention to all things and avoiding negligence. Composure comes from the voluntary acceptance of the things assigned to you by nature. Magnanimity is the elevation of the intelligent part of the pleasurable or painful sensation of the flesh, above that poor thing called fame, death, and all other such things. If you conduct yourself in a manner to exemplify these virtues without want for public recognition, you will be another person and will enter another kind of life. To continue in life, torn to pieces and defiled, is the character of a very stupid person who is overfond of life, like those half-devoured fighters with wild beasts covered with wounds and gore, pleading to be kept another day only to be exposed to the same claws, bites, and state of being. Therefore, focus on acquiring these virtues. If you're able to adhere to them, do so as if you were taken to the islands of bliss, fortunate insulae. But if you find yourself straying, unable to uphold them, go courageously into some nook where you can maintain them without distraction, or, if necessary, depart from life, not in passion, but with simplicity, freedom, and modesty, having done this admirable thing. To remember these virtues, it will help to remember the gods, and that they wish not to be flattered, but wish all reasonable things to be made like them. Remember, a fig tree does the work of a fig tree, a dog the work of a dog, a bee the work of a bee, and that which does the work of a human is a human. 9. Hatred, war, distraction, indolence, and slavery will erode your holy principles. How many things without studying nature do you imagine, and how many do you neglect? It is your duty to approach and handle everything in a manner that enhances your ability to deal with these circumstances, exercises your contemplative faculty, and builds your confidence that comes from the knowledge that you've maintained your affairs without either showing or concealing it. When will you enjoy simplicity, gravity, and the knowledge of each thing's essence, the place it has in the universe, its lifespan, its components, to who it belongs, and who is able to both give it and take it away? 10. A spider is proud when it has caught a fly, another when catching a hare, another when taking a little fish in a net, another when taking wild boars, another taking bears, and another when he has taken sarmatians. Are these not robbers, if you examine their actions? 11. Through the practice of philosophy, constantly contemplate how all things change into one another, for nothing is so well suited to produce magnanimity. Such a person recognizes the transience of life, understanding they must leave their community and possessions. They dedicate themselves to being just in all their actions and accept anything else that occurs because of nature. But as to what anyone says, thinks, or acts, such a person never even thinks of it. For they are contented with acting justly and being satisfied with what nature has assigned to them. They lay aside all the distractions and frivolous time-consuming hobbies and desire nothing else than to walk a life according to the right path to follow God. 12. What need is there for suspicious fear, since it is in your power to know what ought to be done? And if you're able to see the way forward with clarity, then follow the way content without turning back. If you do not see clearly, stop and take counsel from your best sources and advisors. If obstacles arise, proceed with care, keeping to that which appears fair. For it is best to strive for justice, and if you should fail, let it be in this attempt. Whoever follows reason in all things is tranquil, yet active at the same time, cheerful and collected. 13. Ask yourself the moment you wake from sleep whether someone else's fairness will make any difference to you. Remind yourself that it will make no difference. You haven't forgotten how those who are arrogant in bestowing their praise or blame on others are the same in private as they are in public. You have not forgotten what they do, what they avoid, what they pursue, and how they steal and rob. not with hands and feet, but with their minds. The same part that can produce the virtues of fidelity, modesty, truth, law, and happiness if they so choose. 14. To that which gives and takes everything, an educated and modest person says, "Give what you will and take back what you will." And they say this not proudly, but obediently, and well pleased with nature. 15. You have little time left to live, so live as if you're on a mountain. For it makes no difference whether a person lives here or there, if they live justly and with a cooperative social spirit. Let others see. Let them know a real person who lives according to nature. If they cannot endure him, let them kill him, for that is better than to live as these people do. 16. Don't talk about what a good man should do. Just be one. 17. Constantly contemplate the vastness of time in the universe. Understand all the individual things are as small as a grain of fig in substance and as brief as a moment in time. 18. Look at everything that exists. Notice it's already changing toward dissolution, naturally destined toward decay and death. 19. Consider people when they are eating, sleeping, having sex, relaxing, and so forth. Then what kind of people they are when they are imperious and arrogant, or angry and scolding with indignation. A short time ago they were slaves to desire, and soon consider in what condition they will be. 20. Whatever universal nature brings to each thing is for its own good, and it comes at the right time. 21. The earth loves the rain, the sky loves its solemnity, and the universe loves to make what it is about to be. I say then to the universe that I love as you love. 22. Either you are living here and have already accustomed yourself to it, or going away at your own will, or dying having done your duty. Besides these things, there is nothing. So be of good cheer then. 23. Always remember this place is like any other. Everything here is the same as on top of a mountain, or on a seashore, or wherever you choose to be. As Plato says, dwelling within the walls of a city is like a shepherd's fold on a mountain. 24. What is my ruling faculty now to me? What am I making it into? What purpose am I now using it? Is it void of understanding? Is it disconnected from social life? Is it too attached to my physical body and its desires? 25. He who flies from his master is a runaway, but the law is the master of all, and he who breaks the law is a runaway. They who are grieved, angry, afraid, or dissatisfied because of the past, present, or future are rejecting what has been assigned by nature, the ruler of all things, and thus the cosmic law. He who fears, grieves, or gets angry then is also a runaway. 26. A man plants his seed in a womb and leaves, and then another process labors on to make a child. What a thing from such a material! Again, the child passes food down through the throat, and then another process takes it and makes perception, motion, life, strength, and other things. Observe how many things are produced in such a hidden way, and see the power just as we see the power of gravity, not with the eyes, but still no less plainly. 27. Always remember how all present things were the same in times past, and realize they will be the same in the future. Recall past events, whether from your own experience or older history. For example, the whole court of Hadrian, Antoninus, Philip, Alexander, Croesus, for all those were such dramas as we see now, only with different actors. 28. Imagine everyone who is aggrieved at, or discontented with, anything to be like the pig which is sacrificed kicking and screaming. Like this pig is the person that laments the bonds in which we as human beings are held. Remember, Only rational beings are given the power to voluntarily accept what happens, even if the path is a necessity imposed on all. 29. On every occasion, pause and ask yourself if death is dreadful because it would stop you from doing this. 30. When you are offended by someone, reflect in what matter you err yourself, like thinking that money, pleasure, reputation, and the like is a good and just pursuit. Framing your thoughts like this will help you quickly forget your anger. Also, remember that the individual who has erred may be acting out of compulsion, and if you're able, it is your duty to guide them away from whatever is causing it. 31. When you see someone like Euphrates, think of Eutychian and Sylvanus. When you see someone like Echelephron, think of Topharephus. When you have looked at yourself, think and compare yourself to any other Caesar. Then let this thought be in your mind. Who are those men? Dead and gone, or somewhere nobody knows. For thus continuously you will look at human beings as smoke and nothing at all. For what has once changed will never exist again in the infinite duration of time. In what brief space of time is your existence? And why are you not content to pass through this short time in an orderly way? What useful opportunities are you missing? For what else are all these things, except exercises for the mind if used to carefully examine the nature of all things that happen in life? Persevere then until you have understood those things, just like a strong stomach digests everything eaten, or a blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything thrown into it. 32. Let it not be in anyone's power to say truly that you are not straightforward or good. Whoever thinks anything of the sort about you shall be exposed as liars. This is altogether in your control. For what person can hinder you from being virtuous and forthright? Decide to live only if you are able to live this way, for reason would not allow you to live if you are not such. 33. Do or say in life what is most conformable to reason. For whatever this may be, it is in your power to do it or to say it, and do not make excuses that you are hindered. You will not cease to lament until your mind is motivated to pursue what is rational, like those who love luxury pursue what is pleasurable. For a person ought to consider enjoying everything that is in their power to do according to their nature, and it is in our power everywhere. A cylinder, water, fire, nor any other irrational thing cannot move anywhere by its own volition, because obstacles can block them. Intelligence and reason are able to go through everything that opposes them, and in such manner as they are formed by nature as they choose. Focus on how easily reason can be carried through all things, like fire upwards, a stone backwards, or a cylinder down an inclined surface, and seek nothing further. All other obstacles either affect the body, which is a dead thing, or the mind if you permit them, for if they did, you would immediately become worse. Unlike other things that become worse when harmed, human beings become both better, if one may say so, and more worthy of praise by making good of these obstacles. And finally, remember, nothing harms a citizen that does not harm the state, nor does anything harm the state, which does not harm law and order. These things, called misfortune, do not harm law, therefore they do not harm either state or citizen. 34. For those constituted by the right principles in their value system, the simplest advice is sufficient to remind them to be free from grief and fear. For example, just like the wind scatters leaves on the ground, so too is humanity. Leaves, some the wind scatters on the ground, so is the race of men. Leaves are like your children, and leaves too are those who demand praise, or on the contrary criticize, secretly blame, and sneer. And leaves in like manner shall receive and transmit fame after death. For all such things as these are produced in the season of spring, as the poet says. Then the wind casts them down to be replaced by new leaves in their place. A brief existence is common to all things, and yet you avoid and pursue things as if they would be eternal. A little time, and you will close your eyes, and whoever mourns you to your grave, another will soon mourn them as well. 35. The healthy eye should see all visible things and not say, I wish only for green, for this is a symptom of disease. The healthy ears and nose ought to be ready to perceive all that can be heard and smelled, and the healthy stomach should digest all food like a mill grinds all things. A healthy rational faculty ought to be prepared for everything that happens. The person who says, "Let my dear children live," or "Let everyone praise whatever I do," is like an eye which only wants to see green things, or teeth that seek to chew only soft things. 36. There is no one so fortunate that there will not be some who are pleased with him dying. Suppose the man dying was good and wise. Will there not be at least someone left to say, "Let us at last breathe freely, relieved from their judgment. It is true that he was harsh to none of us, but I perceive that he tacitly condemned us." This is what is said of a good man. But in our own case, how many other things are there for which there are many who wish to get rid of us? You will consider this when dying, and will depart more contentedly by remembering, "I am going away from such a life, in which even my associates, on behalf of whom I have striven so much, prayed and cared, themselves wished me to depart, hoping perchance to get some little advantage by it." Why then should someone cling for a longer stay here? Do not, however, for this reason go away less kindly disposed to them, but preserve your own character as friendly and benevolent. Do not die as if you were torn away, but in quiet tranquility let the soul gradually separate from the body. Such should also be your departure from others, for as it was natural to be united with them, so too it is natural to leave them. 37. Regularly make a point to think about the reason for people's actions, but begin by examining yourself first. 38. Remember, your mind is what pulls the strings of your being. This is the power of persuasion. This is life. This, if one may say so, is humankind. In meditation, never focus on the body or the things attached to it. Your body parts are like tools. Without the mind controlling them, they are useless as a weaver's shuttle, a writer's pen, or a driver's whip.